Mounce, BBG, chapter 24, sentence 1. All right, you see there's pretty obviously two clauses here. So what we want to do is we want to tackle this first clause and then move on to the second. Split it up that way. First thing you notice is this is pretty obviously your subject because it's nominative plural. It's also, you probably know, an adjective. So that means that since it's not modifying anything else in the neighborhood, that you have a substantival adjective, um, for your subject. So you're going to want to tell your readers, I would like for you to get into the habit of telling your readers when you run into a substantival of any kind, what gender you're looking at. And so technically this is a masculine, but of course with a masculine you can treat it as a generic. So whether you went with many men or many people, those are both just fine. I probably in this scenario would run with many people. I think that's probably what was the case. So anyway, you're going to say many people, and then you have this very strange verb. And I'm kind of surprised he gave you this right out of the gate. A chapter like this that was tough in the first place, and you're having to learn that there are actually aorist passive stems that are different from other stems, and that kind of information is a bit overwhelming. And this is, of course, one of the really more strange ones, if that's, if I could say it that way, stranger ones. Um, because you look at it and you say, well, okay, I recognize soon, but then when you look at this, you kind of go, eighth, eighth, what kind of deal is, because you tend to want to look at this and say passive. You look at this as sort of a, an aorist ending. So, then you're looking at this and you can't really go very far, in my opinion, if you're not familiar with all the different stems. So that's really the reason why I told you that it's related to ago, and of course it's really soon ago. But if you're looking at the laminated sheets, all you got to do is go to ago, and you'll see that the stems work the same way, whether you have the prefix or not. And what you'll find is that actually is an aorist passive from soon ago, and that the aorist, if you just look at ago, what you'll find is that the aorist passive stem is echthane. So once you see that, then you go, oh, okay, now I've got enough information to work with. I see it's an aorist passive stem. That eta is related to the alpha in ago for the augment. I see those kinds of pieces. The theta is, I can go ahead and understand that as passive, not a big deal. But the bottom line is that the stem is echthane. So again, once you know that this works the same way. So you have sunago that becomes sunechthane, and it has to do with gathering together, except again, this is an aorist passive. And then, of course, you can look at the son and say, well, that's third plural. So once you know that, you got a third plural aorist passive from sunago, right? And in which case you're going to say something like, and many were gathered together. Were gathered. All right. So, but were gathered together. So again, an aorist passive. So, and many were gathered together, and here's your second clause. So, you look around here, you see no obvious subject, so you realize it's built into the verb. So you tackle your verb and you say, okay, I see an augment. I know laleo, so this looks like a present stem. So present stem plus an augment gives me an imperfect, right? Present stem plus augment equals imperfect, and then you see osa, so that's third singular. So he was speaking. So translated as an imperfect. He was speaking. Then you jump down and you say, okay, I see the news here. So that tells me accusative singular. That's probably my direct object. So he was speaking the word. And then you have this dative plural to them from autos. So, and many were gathered together, and he was speaking the word to them would be the way you'd run with it.